All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are breaking down a really simple but super powerful framework for just feeling and performing better. We're going to focus on three core areas that can honestly change everything about how you function day to day. So, does this question feel a little familiar? You know that feeling? You're just constantly drained, your brain feels foggy, and you know you're not hitting your potential. It's a huge problem for so many of us, but the good news is there's a really clear path to fixing it. And here's the answer. It's not some complicated biohack or expensive secret. The whole solution is built around three fundamental pillars of your health. It's called the Performance Triad, and it's going to be our roadmap for this whole explainer. And these are the big three: sleep, activity, and nutrition. I want you to think of them like the three legs of a stool. If one is shaky or too short, the whole thing gets wobbly, right? To be at your best, you need all three to be solid. This is the foundation for everything. So let's start with what is, you could argue, the most important pillar of them all: sleep. This isn't a luxury, it's not optional. It is the absolute foundation for your performance. It's when your body and your brain finally get a chance to recover, repair, and get ready to do it all again. And I want you to really focus on that phrase, the only time. You can chill on the couch all day, but your brain isn't actually recovering. Real recovery only happens during sleep. This is when you form memories, learn new things, and, get this, literally clean out all the junk that builds up in your brain during the day. It's like a nightly power wash for your mind. Okay, so what's the magic number we're all shooting for? For most adults, it is 7 to 8 hours, every 24 hours. And the science on this is pretty much settled. Almost no one can actually perform at their peak on less than that. So if you want that mental edge, this is your target. Now, to get that high-quality sleep, your environment is everything. Your bedroom needs to be a sleep sanctuary, and that means three things. It needs to be cool. Somewhere between 65 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit is perfect. It needs to be as dark as you can possibly get it, and it needs to be quiet. These aren't just suggestions. They are powerful signals to your brain that it's time to shut down for the night. You've also got to create a buffer between your hectic day and bedtime. A wind-down routine is your secret weapon here. The number one rule: turn off all your screens at least an hour before bed. That blue light totally messes with your sleep hormones. Instead, pick up a real book, do a few light stretches, or just lay out your clothes for the next day. You're basically telling your body, okay, we're powering down now. And one last crucial tip for sleep: you have got to watch your caffeine intake. I know that 3 p.m. coffee feels essential, but caffeine can hang around in your system for 4 to 6 hours. It could be totally sabotaging your sleep quality, and you might not even realize it. Try to make that last cup of coffee a little earlier in the afternoon. Okay, so we've built our foundation with sleep. Now let's talk about pillar 2, activity. If sleep is for recovery, I want you to think of physical activity as the engine you're building. This is what creates the physical and the mental resilience to handle whatever life throws at you. So when we talk about cardio, it really boils down to two types. Your goal is either 150 minutes of moderate activity per week. We're talking a brisk walk where you can still chat. Or you can do 75 minutes of vigorous activity. That's where you're breathing pretty hard, like running or swimming laps. You can mix and match them, of course, but hitting one of those targets is what's important. But hey, cardio is only half the picture. To build a truly strong and resilient body, you need strength training. And the goal here is pretty simple: 2 to 3 total body sessions every single week. And listen, this isn't about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about building functional strength for your daily life and keeping your muscles and bones healthy for the long run. And it can be so much simpler than you think. You don't need some crazy, complicated routine. A really good program is just built around these 7 basic movements. You just need some kind of push, like a push-up, a pull, like a row, a squat, a lunge. You get the idea. This approach makes sure you're working your whole body and building that balanced, real-world strength. All right, that brings us to our third and final pillar, nutrition. So if activity is the engine, then nutrition is the high-quality fuel you put in the tank. It's simple. You just can't out-train a bad diet. Your sleep and your energy for activity depend directly on what you eat. Honestly, this is what it's all about. Just forget all the crazy fad diets for a second and just focus on this: building a balanced plate with a ton of variety from whole foods. That means lots of colorful fruits and veggies, some lean protein, and good carbs from whole grains. It's simple, you can stick with it, and it works. Now, if you're active, when you eat can be almost as important as what you eat. Before you work out, you want to top off your gas tank with some carbs. If your workout's going to be longer than an hour, you'll need to refuel during. And maybe most important of all is that post-workout window. In that first 30 to 60 minutes after, that's the prime time to get in carbs and protein to help your body recover and get stronger. At the end of the day, this all comes down to choosing real whole foods over processed stuff. And the ingredient list tells you everything you need to know. Just look at this. Bread A has 8 simple ingredients you can actually recognize. Bread B has 24, including high fructose corn syrup and a bunch of other chemicals. I mean, which one do you think is better fuel for your body? It's a no-brainer. Always read the label. And one final super important tip on nutrition: hydration. Water is involved in pretty much every single process in your body. And here's the kicker. By the time you actually feel thirsty, you are already dehydrated. That means your physical and your mental performance have already taken a hit. So don't wait. Make sipping water a habit all day long. Okay, so we've gone through all 3 pillars of the Performance Triad. So now what? What's your first step? How do we actually take all this information and put it into action in the real world? Well, remember that stool analogy from the beginning? This is the most important message of all. These 3 pillars are all connected. When you sleep better, you have more energy to work out. When you work out, you tend to sleep better and even make healthier food choices. It all works together. So you don't have to be perfect at all 3 overnight. Just making a small improvement in one area will start to lift up the other 2. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Not what you're going to do tomorrow or next week, but today. What is the one small change you can make? Are you going to go for a 10-minute walk? Turn off your phone an hour before bed tonight? Maybe just add a side of veggies to your dinner. Just pick one, because that one tiny change, that's your first step. That's how you start.